trying to evolve, running out of time trying to solve, running out of mind to revolve, trying to find what I lost. All I'm on what it costs. I've been trying to curry no sauce, trying to bury my
The champion of Russia in Muay Thai in 2017. One of the most charismatic stars of MMA. A man who transitioned from a novice fighter to a professional in just 2 years. Known by the nickname Shara Bullet, he became a respected fighter with his masterful knockouts, paving his way to the UFC. Today we will talk about the not-so-unknown Sharabutdin Magomedov and how a simple boy from Makhachkala achieved great heights in professional fighting. Sharabutdin Magomedov was born on May 16, 1994, in the city of Makhachkala, the capital of the Republic of Dagestan. He is of Avar nationality. Details about the fighter's personal life are not disclosed, but it is known that in his youth he played football as a goalkeeper. However, he abandoned the sport due to involvement in fights with players from rival teams in Kizlyurt. Throughout his childhood, Sharabutdin was also passionate about boxing and kickboxing. He trained at school number 8 and later joined a boxing section in the city of Shara. One of the future stars of Makhachkala repeatedly won prizes at regional tournaments. In 2010, Sharabutdin became the winner of the international tournament, named after S.N. Novosny. In 2011, Magomedov became a student at the Ranepa Academy, where he quickly became interested in Muay Thai and joined a training section for this martial art. Magomedov was not shy about inventing his combinations and consistently demonstrated beautiful and high-quality work with his hands. In one of his interviews, Shara Bullet shared a funny incident from his childhood, recalling how he threw eggs at girls in short skirts. He also talked about how he often misbehaved as a child, but stated that he would not engage in such behavior now. Sharabutdin's professional MMA career began relatively late for such a talented and interesting fighter. It started in December 2017, when he debuted in the welterweight division of mixed martial arts against Chinese fighter Yingkang Bao at the Qinwu Men tournament in Wuhan. The Russian won the match by technical knockout. Following that, Magomedov fought 3 more times in China in 2018, winning all 3 by knockout. The fighter's signature move became his constant pressure on opponents with his legs and his ability to maintain distance effectively. In July 2021, Shara Bullet made his first appearance in the middleweight category at the AMC Fight Nights 103 tournament in Sochi, where he won by technical knockout against compatriot Yakub Kediev. The fight began with a territorial probe and testing the opponent. Magomedov started attacking with low kicks to test his opponent's resilience and see how he would respond. Later, Yakub received a high kick, but he continued to close the distance and move forward.
И хороший хай-кик теперь.
Очень хорошая координация движения у Шарабутдина Магомедова в этом, на текущий момент, если говорить. Хорошо рвет.
However, Kediev managed to corner his opponent against the cage.
Колено навстречу, тоже здорово. Единственное, чуть широковато руки разводит Шарабутдин.
But it didn't help him. Shara Bullet delivered powerful low kicks that hindered his opponent. He moved effortlessly, showcasing his skill. At one point, Yakub managed to close the distance and clinch with Magomedov, but that was another mistake.
Втягивает Шарабутдин Магомедов. Колени летят, Якуб отвечает руками. Что происходит?
Хорошо, опять коленом, и видно, да, что уже есть следы от попадания и у одного, и у другого, на корпусе у Якуба Магомедова.
He was met with a knee to the body from the Dagestani, followed by a series of knees to the face. At 2 minutes and 37 seconds into the second round, after another strike, Yakub turned away and the fight was stopped.
Да, и явно, да, вот здесь прочувствовал удар, и
Всё.
это будет сейчас остановка. Ну, 3 удара.
In February 2022, Sharabutdin became the champion of Arena Global in the light heavyweight division. At the Arena Global 17 tournament, the Russian defeated Brazilian Rodrigo Carlos. In the summer of 2022, Magomedov successfully returned to the middleweight category, winning by technical knockout against Russian Sergey Martinov at RCC Intro 2022. As usual, Shara began checking his opponent with low kicks from the start of the fight. His opponent knew this would be the case. Both experienced strikers were cautious not to make mistakes and avoided open exchanges. Martinov responded with good left hooks when Shara attempted low kicks and left himself open. In this fight, Sharabutdin confirmed his nickname, delivering sharp strikes to his opponent. By the end of the first round, Shara was no longer afraid to exchange blows with his opponent, which could not be said for the latter. He moved less and took many hits to the body. The second round began with Sergey pressing forward. However, he met a strong defense from Magomedov's legs. In the middle of the second round, the fighters clinched against the cage, and as usual, Shara began to bombard Martinov with knees and straight punches. Sergey attempted to take Shara down, and the attempt was successful. However, Shara quickly got back up and struck his opponent with a knee. In the standing position, Shara continued to bombard the legs and body. At one point, Magomedov managed to close the distance and clinch, landing a few knees and knocking out Martinov's mouthpiece.
Шанс.
Ой, какой жесткий лоу.
Нога все левая у
Нога
Сергея.
встала.
Да, нога встала. Нога очень неуверенно шагает. Шара пока себя чувствует просто прекрасно. Так. Тайский клинч страшный.
Апперкот.
Капу выбил
выпал у
коленом.
Мартынова.
Так, еще один удар
А
туда.
рефери видит, интересно,
Да,
или нет?
видит, конечно.
By the end of the second round, Shara was in full swing, again bombarding his opponent and knocking out the mouthpiece. The third round began energetically, with Shara continuing to attack with low kicks. Sergey managed to close the distance and received a knee strike. The fighters were against the cage, and Shara bombarded Sergey with knees, while he responded with insignificant uppercuts. After that, Martinov became disoriented, taking strike after strike and unable to stay on his feet. The fight was stopped at 2 minutes and 27 seconds into the third round after another clinch where Martinov received knees to the head and simply lost his bearings. It is worth noting that Sergey held his own quite well against such a skilled striker. In the winter of the same year, by unanimous decision, the Red Predator defeated Mikhail Rogozin at the RCC 13 tournament in Yekaterinburg. The fight began with Shara jumping and striking to the head, which was surprising, as the fighter usually tests his opponent with low kicks. The round continued with Magomedov's aggressive pressure. Only towards the end did the fighters enter a clinch. For the rest of the time, Mikhail struggled to respond to Shara's low kicks, but he was not very effective. However, not much happened in the clinch. The fighters exchanged knee strikes and uppercuts and continued the fight in a standing position. However, in the last seconds of the round, Mikhail knocked Bullet down and took him into a chokehold, landing a few strikes to the head and jaw. But Bullet escaped the hold, and the bell saved him from further pressure.
Шит!
Да, вышел на удушающий. Михаил Рогозин.
Давление на челюсть. Нет, времени нет.
Но
Здесь
концовка.
бить.
Концовка очень
за
неплохая для
Михаила.
Михаила.
Но это Шара сам ошибся.
The second round began with Shara bombarding Mikhail with kicks, but at one point Shara narrowly avoided a back fist. Later, Rogozin clinched with Shara, but after one knee strike, he decided to retreat.
С ударами иди, подсказывают как раз-таки Михаилу. Зацепился Рогозин, но
И
ненадолго.
ушел сам.
И ушел, да, ушел сам.
Интересно, интересно.
Но видишь, второй раунд ребята уже не такие сухие, может быть.
О, друг
бэкфист!
по другу попали.
Да, но выдержали оба.
Да, даже рукопожатием обменялись после этого.
Зауважали.
One of the most memorable moments of this fight was when both fighters simultaneously attempted a back fist and both missed. However, the opponents held back their strikes and exchanged handshakes. At 1 minute and 47 seconds, Mikhail attempted to pressure Shara, but he responded with a jumping knee to his opponent's head. The fighters entered a clinch, and Magomedov began his classic knee strikes.
Здесь апперкот, в клинче зацепились.
Терпит
Ох, колено,
Михаил
вот здесь
Рогозин. Да, и на
точное
выходе из
колено.
клинча колено было у Шары.
Да.
Towards the end, Mikhail attempted a jumping heel strike, but Magomedov was at a distance to avoid the blow.
Опа, раскат грома
Красиво,
от Михаила
но
Рогозина,
воздух,
но мимо.
но
Красиво,
красиво.
но мимо.
The third round began as usual, with Shara maintaining distance and attacking with low kicks to prevent Mikhail from getting closer. Then came the clinch, where the actions were predictable.
Да, итак, зацепится ли Михаил здесь? Хороший апперкот там был. И защищался от хайкика Михаил здесь.
Очень большие паузы от Рогозина. Очень большие.
Но ноги уже не такие быстрые. Все-таки там
Yeah.
сколько...
After a stoppage, Magomedov unleashed a series of powerful kicks on Rogozin. After that, the fighters transitioned to the ground, from which Bullet successfully escaped by pushing off his opponent's leg. After a series of heavy low kicks, Mikhail attempted a takedown, successfully bringing the fight to the ground, after which he received a series of elbows. Towards the end of the third round, Mikhail took a powerful body shot, and the fight ended with a judge's decision. This was the first fight for Shara that ended in this manner.
По-прежнему непобежденный Sharabutdin!
A few days later, in the Thai city of Patong, Shara Bullet knocked out Indian representative Kushal Vyas and claimed the Thailand Fighting Championship title in the middleweight category. Shara Bullet fought 5 bouts in amateur mixed martial arts promotions, achieving 5 victories with 3 technical knockouts. In the final of the Our Business Grand Prix, Magomedov defeated Pavel Borlutsky in April 2022 in Moscow. Magomedov started this fight classically with a low kick and then pressured his opponent with his leg strikes.
Лоу-кика Магомедов.
Опасный удар от Шары. И тут же в корпус заряжает сайдкиком. Отгрызается Бурлуцкий. Неплохо. Предлагает Шарабутдин зарубиться. И еще один лоу. Жесткий.
After toying with his opponent, Sharabutdin landed powerful low kicks. The fight was stopped at 1 minute and 5 seconds into the first round, when Shara knocked down his opponent with a jab and rushed to finish Pavel.
И снова доносит удар Бурлуцкий.
Попал справа, действительно, но такое ощущение, что...
Джеб обороняет соперника! Готовится добивать Шара! Вот это да! Причем казалось, что вроде опасность уже миновала, но посмотри. Джебом уронить.
At the end of December 2022, Sharabutdin Magomedov signed a contract with the UFC for 3 fights. Just a few days before that, the fighter became a client of Egyptian manager Ali Abdelaziz, who previously worked with UFC champion Khabib Nurmagomedov and collaborates with other fighters from the Eagle team. In September 2023, the UFC announced that Shara Bullet would make his debut on October 21st against Brazilian Bruno Silva in the preliminary card of UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi, UAE. The clash of two professional fighters began with them sizing each other up and probing the territory. Shara again threw low kicks to keep his opponent on his toes and wear out his legs, just as he did with Martinov. Silva, in turn, did not stay passive and punish Bullet for his open positions. However, after a series of strikes, Silva became disoriented and was cornered against the cage, prompting the Avar to attempt a jumping knee. Following that, Bruno tried to take Shara down and launched a series of strikes, but his attempts were unsuccessful. In the next exchange, Magomedov landed solid kicks, but accidentally struck Silva in the groin. The fight continued with exchanges of kicks until both fighters decided to engage in a striking exchange at the end of the first round. The second round began similarly, with exchanges of kicks and Silva attempting to respond, but he was met with two knees to the face when he tried to take Shara down. Both fighters skillfully held their ground and exchanged blows, showcasing a beautiful fight in this round. At one point, Bruno managed to take Shara down, but he was met with sharp elbows from his opponent in the ground position. When Silva began to rise, he was met with more kicks from Magomedov. By the end of the second round, Shara was energized and approached the third round with the same intensity. Silva caught Shara with a low kick and took him down. It was evident that both fighters were exhausted from this grueling fight. However, Silva showed himself well on the ground compared to the previous time. Bullet won the fight by judges' decision.
By unanimous decision and still undefeated, Shara Bullet Magomedov!
The longer wait for this fight was due to the fighter being included in the promotion's doping testing pool and the discovery of traces of meldonium in his samples, which the athlete himself reported in May. Magomedov and Bruno Silva opened the UFC 294 tournament in Abu Dhabi, UAE, on October 21, 2023, with a very impressive card. The match proved to be quite challenging for both opponents. After 3 rounds, all 3 judges favored the Dagestani. After his first victory in the league, Sharabutdin also expressed in the cage, "Thank you, kind Russian men." This phrase became the fighter's trademark. Shara Bullet's second fight in the UFC took place on June 22, 2024, at the UFC Fight Night tournament in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. After a series of cancellations and rearrangements in various tournament cards, the Russian's opponent just 3 days before the fight became Brazilian Antonio Trocoli.
He really does, because that is what Trocoli's looking for. Look at that
right
ice
hand
kick.
right hand by Trocoli.
Clean right hands, 2 in a row.
Yeah, big and tall, 6'5".
Shara gives it a nice big smile, but you don't want to take too many of them.
Trocoli's trying to step over that outside leg. He's trying to get his left leg over.
In the third round, Magomedov caught his opponent during a takedown attempt, met him with a knee, and then unleashed a series of strikes to the jaw, prompting the referee to stop the fight.
And there it is.
Could be the beginning of the end.
This has got to be the end here.
Truckley might get stopped on the feet here.
Oh.
That will do it. Down goes Truckley. Shara bullet lighting him up in Riyadh.
Fatigue got the best of him and taking a lot of damage, but boy, was that man tired in there.
Yeah, it was a beautiful finish from Sharabutdin. I mean, that was spectacular stuff. It really was. It was highly technical.
Declaring the winner by knockout and still undefeated, Shara.
The spectacular knockout earned the winner a $50,000 bonus. He again thanked the kind Russian men for their support and entered the octagon with the Russian flag, carried by his coach Gor Azizyan, the owner of Gor MMA. Magomedov's third fight in the promotion took place on the night of August 4th, 2024, at the UFC on ABC 7 tournament in Abu Dhabi against Polish fighter Michał Oleksiejczuk, a former light heavyweight competitor. The match lasted all 3 rounds and was recognized as the best of the evening, for which Sharabutdin received a $50,000 bonus after winning by unanimous decision. The fight began actively, and at one point, the Pole managed to take Magomedov down.
Chances, because he believes so greatly in his power.
Oleksiejczuk believes that Magomedov is fighting with a lot of pressure, and he cracked him with the left.
And another thing to really keep an eye on for Shara Magomedov is he throws so.
By the end of the fight, Magomedov left his opponent with a cut, and the match concluded with the judge's decision.
Sharabutdin Magomedov.
The fourth fight in the league took place on October 26, 2024, at UFC 308 in Abu Dhabi against another Russian fighter, Armen Petrosyan, who was born in Krasnodar and represents Armenia. The clash of compatriots opened the main card. Shara and Armen had previously trained in the same gym at the Makhachkala Universal Fighters under the guidance of Rasul Magomedaliyev, but later Bullet began working with Gor Azizyan. The bout between the two strikers ended with less than 10 seconds left in the second round. Magomedov executed a spectacular move, catching Petrosyan with a back fist, then turning 180 degrees and landing another back fist with the other hand. Shara did not finish his opponent, and the referee stopped the fight, much to Armen's displeasure. I watched the knockout episode about 15 to 20 times. It's nice to have finished it early. Of course, I didn't want to inflict any injuries on Armen. After all, we have a good relationship. And he's a good guy. Everything went well, with respect. And what was there to finish? To kill him. He still has a career ahead of him. Why put so much on the line at the end? I felt in the first round that I had landed many strikes on him. A couple of times he was wobbly. I understood that the accumulation of damage was significant when you can hit with a light strike and a person gets knocked out. This leads to serious concussions, after which you need at least 6 months without training, the fighter said in an interview. In 2016, Sharabutdin injured his eye. The fighter initially thought the injury was minor. However, since the eye did not heal for a long time, Sharabutdin eventually sought medical attention. Doctors informed him that he had come in too late. Magomedov underwent 8 surgeries, and the treatment lasted almost a year and a half. At the same time, Sharabutdin does not know the exact cause of the eye injury, whether it was due to excessive sports loads or an external injury. According to the MMA fighter, his right eye now sees perfectly. After Magomedov's debut in the UFC, there were reports that due to his eye problems, he could not compete in tournaments in the USA. UFC President Dana White did not rule out that this could become an obstacle for the athlete's admission by athletic commissions in specific states. I was told that there are certain states in the USA where I won't be able to fight, and there are states where I need to negotiate separately. I was told that I could participate in many tournaments there, but I need to ask in advance. I was ready to fight in America for my fans there, the fighter explained in an interview in the summer of 2024. How did the nickname Sharabutdin come about? Sharabutdin Magomedov received the nickname Shara from his relatives and friends on the street. After some time, the athlete slightly changed the nickname, replacing the word Puli with its English equivalent, bullet. Magomedov created the nickname Shara Puli on the social network Odnoklasniki, and on another well-known banned service, he became Shara Bullet. The MMA fighter is accustomed to being called by his name or by the nickname Shara Bullet. Considering his appearance and residence by the Caspian Sea, he often refers to himself as a pirate. He plays on this nickname when expressing his desire to conquer the UFC middleweight division and claim his treasure there. Shara Bullet does not publicly display his personal life. It is known that the athlete has 2 daughters. In his social media, the MMA fighter posts photos and videos from training sessions. The Russian is fully focused on sports. In his free time, Magomedov plays golf, football, occasionally goes to the pool, and loves cars. Sharabutdin Magomedov adheres to Muslim traditions. The mixed martial arts fighter is a fan of legendary American boxers Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. In June 2022, Shara Bullet got into a fight with a visitor at the Ataji shopping center in Makachkala. The conflict occurred on an escalator. The MMA fighter made a remark to a man who was kissing a girl in public. According to Magomedov, such behavior is not accepted in Dagestan. At the end of the escalator, Sharabutdin and the man began a heated dialogue with unflattering remarks. As a result, the stranger threw the first punch at Magomedov, provoking a fight. Security intervened to separate the two. Shara Bullet and the man agreed to settle their differences outside. The MMA fighter knocked out his opponent. Later, Sharabutdin reported that he reconciled with the man and both apologized. Role as a killer in American cinema. In the summer of 2024, between 2 fights in Saudi Arabia and the UAE, the fighter traveled to the USA. In Los Angeles, the Dagestani participated in the filming of a movie and also met his agent Ali Abdelaziz for the first time and visited Dana White's office at the UFC. I had an interesting moment in the movie, an interesting scene where I play a store owner who went out to sweep and was standing with a broom. At one point, I started practicing strikes while sweeping. Someone filmed it, and the video reached White. He started teasing me. "Aren't you a killer? Why are you sweeping?" Shara recounted in an interview. According to Sharabutdin Magomedov, he spent no less than $70,000 preparing for his UFC debut, and his contract included a sum with 3 zeros for 3 fights in the organization of Dana White. At the same time, Shara Bullet admitted in an interview with our YouTube channel, Usha Taika, that the UFC immediately paid him more than $50,000. Sources reported that the starting fee for his fight was $85,000. Achievements: champion of Arena Global in the light heavyweight division, champion of Thailand, fighting championship in the middleweight division, winner of the Our Business amateur fighting promotion, Grand Prix champion of Russia. In Muay Thai, in the weight category up to 76.2 kilograms among professionals. 3-time winner of the Moscow Championship in Muay Thai. We would be happy to hear your comments to stay connected with us. We also thank you for subscribing, hitting the bell, and liking this video. Please write about whom we should make the next video, and we will definitely do it.